Alrighty, hey there guys, Agent Acosta here, aka Jennifer95, coming at you guys with another video. And in this one, guys, it is going to be about 5 to 10 tips, give or take, on how to improve your passing game in Madden 24. Now, I'm not saying that passing is, this video will ultimately make you such a better player and you're going to be passing like a professional Madden player. I can't promise that. But what I can say is that with these tips that I have learned throughout my time playing, as well as completely other things that could help, that I've picked up along the way from other people, this might be able to make it to where you can pass a little bit better, so that way you're not struggling to take, to win games potentially. And if you guys do like this type of content and want to see more, if you guys could do me a quick favor, hit the subscribe and like buttons below. Both things are very helpful in the algorithm, especially, if you are willing to just do it right away. I don't know, I completely forgot where I was going with that, and they actually mean a lot more than you realize. So first thing I'm going to talk about, and this is not even related to the gameplay itself, knowing your playbook. You need, when you are playing a game, you need to know what playbook, what your formation you're calling, and what are the plays that are good in that specific playbook against specific coverages. So for example, a lot of people want to run bunch, so let's look at bunch plays. So you're going to look here and you're going to notice stuff like verticals, halfback, under, definitely really good against like cover 3 type of defenses, and even some man coverage potentially, depending on some of the hot routes you make. You're looking at things like flood, that's a really good play. Spacing switch is obviously really good against, some deep quarters coverages. Smash return. Smash is really good against, two high defenses that have, some flats on the outside, so mainly cover 2. Then you're looking at things like, Z spot is really good against, both cover 2 and man coverage potentially with the backside flat with a slant route. Lots of things in these playbooks, to look at and realize what it is that's really good against specific coverages and what you can do to make, probably potentially a little bit of changes here and there to make, those specific routes a lot more effective, because some routes are only really, some routes you can't really hot route into. Like, for example, the this hook route that you see in the Y trips, both of these hook routes that you see, you can't really hot route those out there, so you gotta work with it and make sure what you got. Also, some of these these in zigs that you see like out of stick and nod, and I think there was another one that I saw in this playbook, I don't know, but yeah, you see, those type of routes you can't really play for. Also, tight end zigs is another one that you can't really audible to. Next on the list, guys, is going to be pass protection settings. Now, pass protection settings is absolutely crucial when it comes to games, right? You absolutely need to be good at setting protections in order to make sure that you can make your passes effectively, because if you're not very good at setting your protections, you're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to get the ball out. You're just not going to, especially against, players that love to blitz people and make them make quick decisions. Now, that is a little bit different depending on the player, and you're going to need to adjust your playstyle as you go, but you're going to need to also make your protection calls. So you see right here, for this example, let's reset our protection call, right? So you see right here, this is our normal standard protection that is given to us, right? If I were to snap this ball, everybody would drop straight back, and there would be no realistic, like, anything major going on, right? So you see right there, boom, that was not really major like that. Now, let's say that we're going up against potentially a blitzing player, right? Let's say we're going up against a traditional, like, kind of like blitz style play. Let's call a random play here. And then on defense, you know what? Let's go into here and let's call, the classic Overstorm Brave, right? So you see, this is a heavy blitz look, right? So what I would recommend for you is to have, use your line to slide over to whatever side you want, be it left or right. Let's say do the right in this case, and then use your running back to pick up the other blitzer, and we'll pass block the running back just in case. Now, with this ID the Mike feature, what it does is it actually makes it to where the running back is going to pick him up if he blitzes. So we snap this ball. You see right here, the running back is going to pick up that edge guy, and make some route changes and whatnot. You're probably going to have somebody open, and that's another thing I'm going to small tidbit of help that I'm going to give to you guys is make sure when you are setting your protections, you do them after your route combos, because for some reason EA still has it bugged in the game where sometimes when you make your protection calls, and then hot route or change like plays and whatnot. For some reason, EA still has it to where they will not register, and your pass blocking of changes that you completely miss, that you completely do, will completely get forgotten about. So you want to make sure that you're doing that in the last section before you go ahead and make your make your adjustments. Right there you see we got sacked pretty quick, so go ahead and do a little bit of changes here. Shift the line over, pass block the running back, yada yada yada. You see right there we got some time. We're able to find our receiver, our tight end on the option route, which case he broke out because of his man coverage. And that's actually going to transition into the next thing I'm going to say is know your exit points, okay? Knowing where your exit points are in specific times and specific routes, against specific coverages, can absolutely make it easier on you as a player to get your passing game better, right? Even if it means not taking the big bomb every single time, ultimately, it is still worth knowing where your exit points are, right? So, for example, let's call a random play here, right? And then on defense, we'll call a random nickel set. So right here, you see, this is what we're looking at. Now, if I were a betting man, I would guess this is cover 2, right? Or even a cover 4 type of look, right? So if this is cover 2, right, then I'm looking at the slant fade combo on the right side, and I'm looking to see if I can fit this ball into Tyler Lockett or Jackson Smith-Njigba, depending on how far back the corner on the outside drops. If this is cover 4, I'm looking to Kobe Parkinson on the hitch route, because more than likely, especially with the person that is over here, like the Mike linebacker, he probably won't user this and will probably look to go over the middle to DK. But if he does jump down on the hook route, we've got DK over the middle for the slant, potentially, depending on how far down he drops. And if we do, and then we can look to Zach Charbonnet. Now, if this is cover 3, this play might get a little bit dicey. This play might get a little bit dicey to work with, and so therefore this play is probably not going to work out very well. So you see what we're going to do, snap the ball. We see this is absolutely a cover 2 type of look. I can't remember, but we had DK open on the slant route, right? So we had DK open on that slant route. Here, obviously, we're going to call another play. Now, single high defenses is a lot easier to decipher. It's either one of two options, cover 1, cover 2, cover 1, cover 3. Some people might try cover 2 invert if they want to, but I still don't think it's the most viable coverage in the world. But if you want to run it, that sounds fine to me. So right here, obviously, we all know if this is a single high defense, well, I'm looking at the flood concept on the right side. And if it's man or if it's man coverage, I'm looking to JSN. If it's zone coverage, I'm looking to K9. So you see right here, it is zone coverage. You see the cornerback drops a little bit too far back, and he does get it. We do get a nice, play to K9. And so sadly, he dropped it. Tip number 4, I believe this is I'm going to give you guys. Take your checkdowns. I absolutely get blown away when I watch players play and I see a wide open flat route on the sideline and they just don't take it. It absolutely does not make any sense to me, or like a running back out of the backfield. It doesn't make sense to me that players do not take those checkdowns, because quite frankly, it's free yards. It is literally free yards for you to take. And so the fact that people aren't taking it does kind of make me go, huh. So you see here, we got a couple of we got like 3 zig routes. Holy shoot. I'm actually going to put Charbonnet on a, actually, can I move Charbonnet to the backfield now? Nope, he just motions over across. Okay, cool. Whatever. We'll just put Charbonnet on a hitch. Whatever. Moving on. Okay, so you see right here, obviously, with this potentially being a man or a cover 3 style defense, we probably should look to, either Jackson Smith-Njigba or Parkinson on a zig route. Lo and behold, this is man. We're going to go to JSN. He gets the ball, and we take the check down to him and gain about 4 or 5-ish yards, right? Obviously, it is going to be a little bit different because depending on the play. So right here, you see, this is probably going to be a man coverage look. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put Parkinson on a flat, put you on a pass block, shift you over, and then there. So you see a nice blitz, knowing where our exit points are, knowing where our flats are potentially. If they're there, obviously take them. So right here again, 1 high defense. I see that this is actually man coverage, so we're going to go ahead and hit DK. But if it was zone coverage, I would have for sure gone to K9 in the back out of the backfield. I would have absolutely for sure gone with K9 out of the backfield and go ahead and make it to where he gets the ball. Now, obviously, certain plays call for different situations, but if the deep shot mainly is not there, which is one I really want to focus on. I'm sorry I couldn't really get it too well for you guys because, quite frankly, at this moment, I am currently, I'm just on random plays. But yeah, I hope you understand what I'm saying. But right here, you see, so there's a good example. Right here, take the flat to JSN, and we actually gain about 10 yards. Because the reason why I say it is because, obviously, if you're getting incremental yards, like 4 or 5-ish yards, right? It may not be pretty, but it puts you ahead of the chains, right? It puts you ahead of the chains and puts it in a situation to where maybe you get to a 3rd and 1, you can call whatever you want. Run, pass, play action, option, quarterback sneak. It really doesn't matter what it is that you want to call, because ultimately you are in control, right? If you take those checkdowns, you're in control. Whereas if you get fixated on the deep shot, eventually you're going to take a sack, right? And then now all of a sudden, instead of taking a flat for 4 or 5 yards, you're taking a sack for 4 or 5 yards. And that's potentially a 10-yard swing that can ultimately be the deciding factor in a game, right? Could also ultimately be the deciding factor in a game for you because you're unable to convert on those, those checkdowns and take those easy yards. Right here, Charbonnet, boom, we get about 5 there. The Charbonnet actually did fight pretty well. Next tip I'm going to give you guys, pocket presence. This is absolutely essential for people to learn how to get better pocket presence in this game. You definitely want to be practicing this because ultimately it can be the difference between winning and losing a game. Because also, guys, the reason why is for pocket presence is because sometimes you just need that extra second to buy yourself a little bit of time to find a receiver open down the field, right? So say you're going up against a single high defense type of look, right? Let's look at this. And you're wanting to look to JSN. Now, this is obviously cover 1 press. This is not even a discussion. So if you're wanting to go to JSN, sometimes you're going to need that extra bit of second to ensure he gets the separation and be able to and be able to get the ball down the field. Now, we got an under pressure inaccurate there, sadly. So it is what it is. Now, obviously with this blitz, what we're going to do is actually just get the ball out fast and get it to DK. And that's another tip. Get the ball out quick. If you're going up against a blitz, don't hold on to the ball. Definitely don't hold on to the ball for too long. Get the ball out fast and get the ball to your players in space. Let them make plays because that is what you should be doing. Because again, that is another sack waiting to potentially happen. And that's the whole point of this video, is to potentially avoid as many sacks as possible. Anyhow, one last example, actually. Let me get a good example here. So you see, definitely good. They seal off. We get step over here, maybe roll out a bit, and then, we can't find anybody down the field, so we're going to just take off and slide. And that's still good accumulative positive yardage, right? Still accumulating good yardage, still getting good chunks of yards down the field, which can ultimately help you get deeper into their game and maybe even kill some clock too, because sometimes you might need that first down to kill a little bit of clock. So one more time, right here, we're able to step up, get out, take off with Gino, get about 15 yards, done. So yeah, make sure you're working on your pocket presence, finding, be it in terms of, stepping up to make a throw, or in terms of being able to, just scramble out and get some yardage. Whatever it is you want to do, that is what you can do. That's what you should be working on, because that can be the difference between, again, these are all tips that can be differences between winning and losing games, right? That could be the difference between winning and losing games. So the next one I'm going to give you guys. Now, this one is a personal one for me that I have noticed is progression speed. Obviously, when it comes to this game, obviously I'm not expecting, we don't expect players, a lot of people don't expect anybody to be flying around, making quick reads like crazy. But what I will say though is your progression speed does help out quite a bit. Recognizing coverages fast can be the difference between a big play and not a big play. So right here, again, I'm going to assume this is probably cover 1 man. So if I had to guess, so we snap the ball, you see right here, it actually is cover 3, and I accidentally pressed the wrong button. I meant to go to JSN on the in route. So you see right there, it actually ended up, working out in my favor. So you see right here, this is going to be probably a safety blitz. So we're just going to throw the ball, Tyler Lockett wide open, boom, get the ball out quick. Look for the best available receiver right away. Ultimately, I would start When it comes to progression speed, I would absolutely get into practice mode, and I would definitely look at, obviously what it is that you need to be doing for progression speed. So like, for example, reading these safeties, see the top two guys in the back there. Obviously, coverage, pre-snap identification coverages will actually make your process easier if you really want to. But you see right here, this is cover 3. You see the safety drop, so we're going to go ahead and throw this ball over the middle on the crossing route to JSN and get the nice completion for a bunch of yards, right? So on this play here, we're going to go ahead and audible to whatever. Let's call this play PA read. So this is more than likely going to be either man or zone coverage. So I know that DK is one-on-one isolated on the outside. It actually ends up being cover 3. We're going to just throw this ball over to DK, get the nice catch on the sideline, and get out of bounds. Definitely making your pre-snap reads fast and putting yourself in a situation to where you recognize the coverage right away. So this is right here. I'm pretty sure this is quarters. Throw the ball over the middle. Actually got hit pretty hard there by Eric. I think that was Eric Berry. I'm not sure. So yeah, knowing, getting your pre-snap reads correct. You see right here, this is cover 3 sky. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just throw the ball yeah, you get the point. Now, this is a little bit harder for the pre-snap coverage identification because if they're base aligned. If your opponent is base aligned, like what you're about to see, you really will never know what coverage it is they are in until post-snap. So you look at this right here, right? Every single play you're going to see is going to look like this. So go ahead and just run the ball here. So you see that it looked like that. So this coming play here that you're about to see, you're going to see, again, it's the exact same look. You never know what your opponent's going to be calling until post-snap. So you're really going to have to work on your post-snap reads and processing speed and whatnot to be able to get an idea. So right here, this is a 3 deep coverage. We're going to go ahead and throw the locket over the middle on the crossing route. Done. Right? So again, another 2 high safety look. This time, definitely looking like this. Go ahead, snap it. It ends up being cover 2, but oh, he actually did. There we go. So cover 2, boom, done. All right, cool. See what I mean? With base line, it's always the same look every single time, and you never know what it is your opponent is going to be calling until the play begins. Done. See? All right, and the last tip I'm going to give you guys, and this probably goes true, and this is probably the most important tip I can give, is practice. Obviously, be sure to practice as much as you can in practice mode with very different things. Try it out. Make sure you put all these tests to use, because that is how you get better, is just by practice. Practice. I know it's corny. I know it's cheesy. It sounds very copy and paste. Everybody says the same thing, but it's true. It's absolutely 100% true. You need to practice with all of these tips. You need to practice your progression speed, your pocket movement, your pass protection settings, stuff of that nature. You need to practice all of that, because ultimately that is how you get better. And it's, again, I know it sounds corny. I know it sounds stupid, but that is the reality. That is definitely the reality of it, guys. So if you guys do like this type of content and want to see more tips videos from me, hit the like button below and subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.